Brahmaham yat prasadena Mayi Vishwam Prakalpitam Shrimad Swayam Prakashakhyam Pranami Jagatam Guru Yah Paramatma Jagat Srishtva Pravivesha Punaswayam Tam Krishnam Pratyagatmanam Vande Gopi Manoharam Yasya Prasadad Hamadvayatma Vishwam Samastam Mayi Kalpitacha Tam Sarvalokaika Kurum Sadashri Swayam Prakasham Gurumanatosmi Guruna Charanam Pujam Pranipatya Nirantaram Tatkripa Desha Vaita Chinta Kaus Tumarave Om. Now, Janami Ichhami, this experience, which according to the Nayayikas is because is happening in the Atma. Where is this cognition taking place? Obviously, you are going to say, in me, it is not, the cognition is not in the table, not in the computer, not in the mind, not in the body, but in me. That means that you are definitely talking about the self. And so this cognition, this knowledge, the location of this knowledge is the self. And how is this happening in the self? So the Nayayika explains that when the mind comes in contact with the self and this point of contact then becomes the cause for the knowledge or ichha to take place. Is that okay? And what is the explanation given by the Vedanti? That this knowledge is not taking place, these cognitions are not taking place in the self, but they happen in the, what is the location? In the mind, in the antakarana. And therefore, according to Vedanta, he says, every cognition is a modification of the mind. Antakaranasya parinamaha. What is the vritti? What is this cognition? Antakaranasya parinamaha. Is there this humming sound of the fan or not? आवाज आ रही है इसकी?
No, Swamiji. No. नहीं. नहीं.
Okay. Now the Nayayika making this claim that because this happens to be your experience, you are the claimant who is saying that this location of knowledge is in the self. Everybody is saying that where is this knowledge taking place? Is it taking place in this table or the mic or the mat? Where? Or the wall? No. The location is the self. It is taking place in me. And you Vedantis are saying that these cognitions are the antakarana dharmas, which means their location is antakaranam. How do you say that? Which now he has replied, Ayodhativat. Basically, even before we can explain how is it taking place and why does it appear to be in the self, first of all, we have to tell that, yeah, that the claim of the Vedanti that the cognition, the location of this cognition is the Antakaranam and not the self. Then the Nayayikas claim that if the location is Atma has to be refuted. How is it refuted? By Nayayika's own Siddhanta. We are not going to say, well, since it is that whether should be, whatever is your own Siddhanta only is sufficient enough to cancel your claim. What is it? So what is that? He says, Atma is also Niravayava. Mana is the mind, and the Dravya is also Niravayava. And therefore, how can these two Niravayava Padarthas have contact? In order to have this Yoga Sambandha, one requires Avayava. I can hold your hand because this body, there is a hand, a part, a limb of it. And so you can hold your hand because that is also part of your body. And so this contact is possible because there is Avayava. There is no Avayava, the contact, Sanyoga, etc. cannot take place because by definition itself, what is Sanyoga? Avyapya Vritti Sanyoga. What is Sanyoga? Avyapya Vritti. Now, in order to understand what is Avyapya Vritti, we will go to the general Avyapya Vrittitvam. You understand how it is? Avyapya Vritti, like you have to understand what is Ghata. In order to understand Ghata, where are you taken? Ghatatvam. So that Ghatatvam, wherever it is, in a small, big, whichever part you can understand, it is a part. As long as whether it is black or blue, green or yellow, big or small, does not matter. As long as what is meant by part is found over there, the partness is found, that object will be part. Like that, Avyapya Vrittitvam. Avyapya Vrittitvam nama Swadhikarana Nishthatyanta Bhava Pratiyogitvam. Tatascha Viruddhayoho Pratiyogi Tad Abhavayoho Avachedaka Mantarena. Now, what is the Avachedaka over here? Like in the Kapi Vriksha Sanyoga. So that Kapi Sanyoga is, or Kapi's Sambandha is not there in the entire Vriksha. Okay. Or the Sambandha of the tree with the Kapi is not there in the entire body of the Kapi. Then where is it? In the Vriksha? Sha. So what have you found? Abhava. Abhava of Kapi Sambandha in the entire Vriksha, in that location. Correct? That Adhikaranam, what have you found? That is Abhava of the Kapi Sambandha. So, Swadhikarana. Swasya Adhikaranam location. And Kasya Adhikaranam Swasya. So, this Sambandhasya Adhikaranam. So, the whole Sambandha is absent in the entire tree. Correct? Nishtha. So Swadhikarana Nishtha Atyanta Bhava Pratiyog. So, where is the Atyanta Bhava? In the tree. Now, and this Kapisa Yoga is the Pratiyogi of this Abhava. So this Kapi Sambandha is there in the tree where there is absence of the tree, absence of that sambandha, but how shakha vachedena. Shakha vachedena. Qualified by the branch. Are you understanding that entire sentence? Swadhikarana nishthatyanta bhava pratiyogitvam tatascha viruddhayoho pratiyogi tat abhavayoho avachedaka bhedmantarena. Now, if there is no avachedaka and then avachedaka is a part, unless and until there is a part, the sambandha cannot take place. The sambandha cannot take place. You require a part. Qualify the sambandha. So where is that? Avachedaka. So shakha avachedena kapi sambandha prakshe vartate. So how is this sambandha? Avyapya vritti. So now what do you require a part? And that for Atma or the mind, which is Nishtradesha, Nishtradesha Sambhavena Atmani Jnanadayu Chayante iti Anuvapannam. Well, sir, your proposal that this knowledge is taking place in the self is unacceptable because of your own claim that whether it is Atma or the mind. How are they? Partless. Niravayava. Okay? Iti anupapannam. Abhicha jnanasya atmakaryatve upadanam atma vaktavyam tasya upadanatva arambhakatvena vasya parinamittvena va. Okay, now besides this, you still have one more impossibility, which prevents you from making this tall claim. And that is, now, according to you, if Jnanam is the karyam meaning the effect, which Jnanam, Gata Jnanam, Pata Jnanam, whichever Jnanam, and according to Nayayika, it is this karyam is this effect. What is the cause? Atma. So if Atma is the cause, and any cognition, Gata Jnanam, Pata Jnanam, any cognition is the karyam, the effect, then in that case, upadanam Atma. Fine. What has happened? Atma becomes the upadanam, material cause. ठीक है? समझ में आ रहा है ना?
Yes, Swamiji.
कक्लेश समझ में आ रहा है इनकी ये दूसरी बात?
जी सर.
Okay. तो बोलते हैं कि आत्मा is, if Atma is the upadana, now you tell whether vaktavyaha karyatve upadanam atma vaktavyaha. You will have to say tasya upadanatvam. Now atmanaha upadanatvam. If this Atma is the material cause, obviously the material causeness will be there in Atma. And what is the nature of this material causeness? Arambhakatvena, parinamittvena. Does it become the cause by the virtue of arambhaka? Arambhaka means two things coming together and the third thing is born. Or parinamittvena. that itself turns into something else, transforms, modifies. So now you tell us, out of these two things coming together, getting mixed up and becoming a third thing is Arambhaka. And Parinami means that one same thing only undergoes change, transformation, modification, and becomes another object. So out of these two, which one is Atma as the Upadana Karanam? Whether it is Arambhakatvena Upadanam or Parinamitvena Upadanam. Tell us that. Na adyaha. So you cannot say it is Arambhakatvena. Why? Ekasya anarambhakatva. And this Atma alone cannot become an Arambhaka cause, because for anything to become an Arambhaka cause, you will require two things coming together. Okay? Dal and masala has to come together so that you can have the curry. So like that, Arambhakatvena, Atma alone cannot become it. Ekasya anarambhakatva, nadvitiya, so that is rejected. So nadvitiya, niravayavasya parinama ayogat savayavatve anityatva prasanga. Nadvitiya, what is the second proposal? Parinami. Now please tell that will you call this Atma, which is the Upadana Karanam of the cognitions, as Parinami Karanam? And if you are going to say it is a Parinami Karanam, then let me tell you that in order to be the Parinami Karanam also, you require Savayavatvam. What is required? Savayavatvam, that it should be with avayavas. Well, then we are going to say Atma is Savayava. Oh, if your Atma is going to be Savayava, then your Atma will become Anitya. Let it become Anitya. If you are allowing this thing to happen, if you are going to allow your claim that Atma is the location where the knowledge takes place, for which you are even ready to say that Atma is Savayava, which means you are ready to give up your own claim that Atma is Nitya. Okay? Tasma Anityatva Prasanga. Tasmat asangatva nyayamatasya vrittisyanam antakkara. Because this nyayamata, which had come forward to provide you an explanation as how the location of all the vrittis is Atma. Okay? Because the experience that it is taking place in Atma, in the self, the knowledge is taking place in me. And therefore, the location, since this is the location, Atma, the knowledge takes place in the self due to manas sanyoga of this mind. Now, all these things are now not possible because asangatva, the whole thing, because it is lying in a quagmire of contradictions, and hence tasmat asangatva nyayamatasya asangatva. Put it that nyayamatasya asangatva vritti jnanam. What remains finally to say about the vritti jnanam, the cognition, as antakkarana dharmaha eva. It is antakkarana dharmaha. It is the attribute of antakkaranam. Modifications of antakkaranam remains unchallenged. Okay? If it is Antakarana Dharma, why is it appearing as the Dharma of Atma, Atma Dharma? Because of Anyonyatadatmyadhyasa. Because of Anyonyatadatmyadhyasa. This is happening. Got it? What is this? You can provide an example of Anyonyatadatmyadhyasa? Yes. What is that? Ayodhativat. Ayodhativat. Like the steel or the iron burns. Ayodhativat. Okay. Now this is all clear. The definition of vritti has been clearly given to us. Anand, what is the definition of vritti? Are you traveling or what? What is the definition of vritti? Meera Bide.
Swamiji, I am audible to you.
Yes.
विषय चैतन्य अभिव्यंजको हो अंतःकरण अज्ञान परिणाम विशेषः.
विषय चैतन्य अभिव्यंजकत्वे सति अज्ञान अंतःकरणयोः परिणाम विशेषः. It is parinama, and so now this definition is clear. This is what vritti means. Vishaya Chaitanya Viganjakatve Sati. Vishaya Chaitanya Viganjakatve Sati. Ajnana Antakarana Yoho Parinama Vishesha. That is vritti. You know what, Chakresh? The other day you were asking, even everything, including the anger, etc., all these are also vishayas. It is also true. Now, just see if this definition of vritti is applicable over there also or not, and you will find that. But the only difference over there is that it is Sakshi Bhasya. Those vrittis or those modifications of the mind are Sakshi Bhasya. And over here, this is Abhasa Bhasyam. Ghatapadadi Prapancha is Abhasa Bhasyam, and that is Sakshi Bhasyam. Just keep these two terms in mind, and you will understand. क्या है आभास भाष्य में साक्ष्य भाष्यम. This is the difference. Now we will move further. Vrittim vibhajate. Now he further shows the vibhajanam, the types of vrittis. Vibhajanam as the categories, as the categories. He further categorizes the vrittis. What is that? Dvividha. Sacha vritti, dvividha. This vritti is dvividha, is twofold. How? Prama aprama bheda. As prama and aprama. Tatra. Tatra is over there, where there is in the categorization. Tatra. If somebody wants to say atra over here in this context, that's okay. Tatra. bodhedha vrittihi vrittidha bodho va prama. So what are the two categories of vritti? Prama and aprama. Okay, prama and aprama. What is called as prama? Aprama, I think he will take later on. Presently, the first category called as the prama. Tatra bodhedha vritti athava vrittidha bodha prama. Both these definitions are of prama only. Bodhedha vritti or vrittidha bodha. Such a dvividha. This prama is also twofold. Ishwarashraya, Jivashraya cha iti. So prama is also again Ishwarashraya prama, Jivashraya prama. Make a flow chart. These are the two things of the vritti, prama, aprama. In prama also, what is prama? Bodhedha vritti. Then this bodhedha vritti is further vrittidha bodha and is further Ishwarashraya, Jivashraya. Okay? And even as we come up to this point, let us not forget that we have already covered a lot of other topics also of understanding what is tada, anyonyatadaatmya adhyasa, anyonyatadaatmya adhyasa. We have understood even what is the explanation provided by the Nayayikas to the explanation that the knowledge is taking place in me. Knowledge is taking place in me is everyone's experience, but explanation even by the Nyaya and the explanation provided to you by the system of Vedanta, you have to see this too. And Vedanta over here, we simply do not just go because, there is this experience and somehow we have to justify it, but we go through the marga of Shruti, because Shruti has also said that all these modifications belong to the mind. All the modifications belong to the mind. If they all belong to the mind, that means what happens? That means what happens? If it belongs to the mind, means what?
Parinama happens in the mind.
But it is not in the self. Acha, but what about our experience that this knowledge is taking place in the self? Is due to anyonyatadaatmya adhyasa. Though it is taking place in the mind, it is seen as if taking place in the self. Okay? So this is how
Yes,
so this is all the topic that we have covered. And then coming to what are the categories of vritti, prama and aprama. What is prama, bodhedha vritti or vrittidha bodha? Both of these are acceptable. And this is vividha ishwarashraya jivashraya cha iti. Now, the next line explains to us about this prama. Pramam nirupayati. Prama is now explained nirupayati. Bodhedha. Bodhedha means jvalita. Bodhena iddha. Bodhedha means bodhena iddha. So bodhedha is what? Tritiya Tatpurusha Samasa. It is a conjugated word. Okay? But what is the nature of this conjugation? Kya hai samas, Anand? Sarita nahi hai. Kaun hai?
Yes, Swamiji.
Kya hai? What is the samasa here? It is a samasika padam, na? It is a samasta padam. Bodhedha. So what is that bodhedha?
बोध देने वाला.
स्वामी जी, बोध से या प्रज्वलित होने वाला.
ध्यान से सुनो अभी. बोधेन इद्धा. क्या है?
बोधेन
बोधेन.
इद्धा.
बोधेन कौन सी विभक्ति है? रामः, रामम, रामेण. रामेण कौन सी विभक्ति है?
तृतीया. तृतीया.
तृतीया विभक्ति है. तो बोधेन कौन सी विभक्ति हो गई?
तृतीया.
तो कौन सा समास हो गया? तृतीया तत्पुरुष समास हो गया ना.
तृतीया तत्पुरुष समास. हाँ स्वामी जी.
तो बोधेन इद्धा. बोधेद्धा का अर्थ क्या है? बोधेन इद्धा. अच्छा, इद्धा का अर्थ क्या है? इद्ध मतलब क्या? व्हाट इज इद्ध? इद्ध मतलब ज्वलिता.
प्रकाश.
हाँ, क्या है?
प्रकाशिता.
प्रकाशिता. इद्धा ज्वलिता. बोधेद्धा. तत्र आ गया. बोधेन ज्वलिता प्रकाशिता सा. जो बोध से प्रकाशित है वह, जो बोध के द्वारा ज्वलिता, बोध के द्वारा प्रकाशिता, ऐसी जो है वह कौन है? वृत्तिश्च. वो वृत्ति भी है. मतलब विषय चैतन्याभिव्यंजकत्व भी उसमें है और वह अंतःकरण का परिणाम है. ऐसी जो वृत्ति हो, जो बोध से ज्वलिता प्रकाशिता तथा ये दोनों चीजें भी हो, उस तब उसे क्या कहेंगे हम? What will it be called?
प्रमा.
Prama. Okay, will be called as prama. तथा वृत्तौ इद्ध. प्रतिबिंबितो वृत्तिद्ध. तो दूसरा डेफिनेशन क्या दिया? वृत्तिद्ध बोधः. वृत्तिद्ध बोध में क्या होगा समास? वृत्तिद्ध बोध में क्या होगा? what will be the conjugation? No, not conjugation. Conjugation क्या बोल रहा हूँ? Compound. मैं भी क्या बोल रहा हूँ? What am I saying? What is the compound here? Conjugation कैसे? Compound संधि रोटी बोल रहे हैं.
इद्ध ही हो ना.
हाँ,
इद्ध.
वहां पे देखो ना क्या लिखा क्या है. पढ़ो ना वो पंक्ति, उतनी पढ़ो थोड़ी सी.
वृत्तौ इद्धः.
करेक्ट. वृत्तौ इद्धः. वृत्तौ सप्तमी विभक्ति है. वृत्तौ कौन सी विभक्ति है? Which विभक्ति is this? Locative case. In. In.
इन भी हो सकता है, ऑन भी हो सकता है.
इन और ऑन होता है सप्तमी में. लोकेशन दिखाना है ना. It should show you location, the place. So it is a locative case. अधिकरण. चक्रेश ठीक है ना? तो वृत्तौ इद्धा. वृत्ति में इद्ध, वृत्ति में इद्ध, यहाँ पे इद्ध शब्द का अर्थ क्या है? ज्वलिता नहीं होगा। यहाँ पे इद्ध शब्द का अर्थ क्या होगा?
reflection,
प्रतिबिंबित। अच्छा जी, कौन प्रतिबिंबित है? वृत्ति में कौन
बोध,
प्रतिबिंबित है?
बोध,
बोध अथवा चैतन्य।
बोध, बोध प्रतिबिंबित है। तो क्या निकला यहाँ पे डेफिनेशन तुम्हारे प्रमा का? वृत्ति में what is when the consciousness reflected in the vritti is called as prama. So what is the name? What is called as prama? Actually, the consciousness reflected in the vritti is called prama. Or alternatively, the vritti which is illumined by the consciousness is called as prama. Okay? In one case, vritti itself is called as prama. In one case, vritti itself is called as prama, and in the second case, consciousness is called as prama. बात समझ में आ रही है ना दोनों डिफरेंस?
yes स्वामी जी।
हाँ, एक जगह चैतन्य को ही प्रमा कह रहे हैं, परंतु वह चैतन्य कैसा हो? वृत्ति में प्रतिबिंबित हो, तब उसे प्रमा कहेंगे। और दूसरी जगह वृत्ति को ही प्रमा कह रहे हैं, लेकिन कब? जब वह वृत्ति चैतन्य से प्रकाशिता हो। ये उसका अंतर है। और बोथ द डेफिनेशंस आर साउंड एंड एक्सेप्टेड। ठीक है ना?
जी स्वामी।
ठीक है, मिला? बोधेन इद्धा और वृत्तौ इद्धः। हाँ, ठीक है। तथा वृत्त्याभिव्यक्त चैतन्यम इति यावत्। ठीक है। प्रमां विभजते सा च इति। अब आगे चल करके ये बताते हैं, now this is being told that the Brahma itself is further bifurcated as Ishwarashraya Brahma और जीवाश्रया ब्रह्मा। ठीक, साचयति प्रथमं निरूपयति। Now from these two, the first one is being explained. Which one is that? Ishwarashraya Brahma is being explained. Prathamam nirupayati tatraiti. Okay, in this topic, now he explains the first one, Ishwarashraya Brahma. What is called as Ishwarashraya Brahma? Here it goes. Tatra ikshana paraparyaya srashtavya vishayakara maya vritti pratibimbita chidishwarashraya. This is called as Ishwarashraya Brahma. Ikshana paraparyaya srashtavya vishayakara maya vritti pratibimbita chidishwarashraya Brahma. Okay. We'll see this when we meet tomorrow. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnaha Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Padarayanam Sutrabhashitau Vande Brahmantau Punah Punah. Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murtibheda Vibhagine Yogmadvyaptadehaya Dakshinam Murtaye Namaha.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
थैंक यू स्वामी जी।
महादेव स्वामी।
हरि ओम, प्रणाम स्वामी जी।